Welcome to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. As you can see behind us, we've got a bit of a white beast there. It's the brand new G63, but we aren't going to be talking about it on this week's show. We're going to be talking about it more in detail on next week's CNB, so stay tuned for that. Let's get straight to our show this week though. It's a packed show as always. So here's a quick glimpse of what we have for you. The C220d facelift driven. We tell you everything about the Ford Aspire facelift. And what riding gear should you buy, a detailed guide. So let's start straight with that big story we have for you this week. It's an exclusive here on CNB Bazaar Buzz. It's the C-Class facelift in the very popular C220d variant. It's the highest selling variant in its range and it's one of the most popular cars in its segment too. It's got a whole bunch of upgrades now. I've been driving it around and here's my opinion on it.
A few months ago, we brought you the detailed drive of the new facelifted and updated C-Class, including the coupe. And now the bread and butter sedan offering from Mercedes-Benz India has made it to our shores with updates on the interior, exterior and under the bonnet too. So let's have a quick look at what's new. For starters, the C-Class facelift, even in this entry-level C220d form, looks a lot sharper. Sportier bumpers up front, a new set of wheels, and of course around the rear, a new set of tail lamps.
But that big update that everybody will be talking about and the one that really differentiates the facelift from the previous generation, of course, are these really cool looking, alien looking LED headlamps. Now you get the premium version of these headlamps, adaptive in the C300. These are the standard LED headlamps and in my opinion they look cooler than the other one. You get the daytime running light up top, which is very similar to the last gen, but then you get this really cool multi sort of clustered LED setup. And you have the low beam, the high beam and the fog lamp all in one big cluster, and trust me, the actual lighting performance on these in the night, absolutely phenomenal.
When you come to think of it, these new headlamps almost reminds me of a dragonfly's head with those detailed eyes.
Now the C-Class now gets a whole bunch of upgrades on the interior and that really does improve the experience in the C-Class a lot more. So you get this bigger screen which is a little more horizontally set up. Of course it's not a touchscreen just yet because Mercedes is still sticking to the sort of control system right here. You also get this open pore wood which is really nice in terms of quality, a whole bunch of little aluminium trim parts, new steering wheel, very similar to the one on the S-Class. But the big disappointment of course is the fact that you don't get the digital instrument cluster that we drove on the international versions, and that's strange because the A4 has that, as the new generation 3 series will definitely have it. So for Mercedes to skimp out on that is a little strange, but we do hope that comes in really soon.
The infotainment system on the new screen too is all new, as the C-Class now comes standard with the next-gen MBUX user interface. It comes standard with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and is much smoother and more modern, but as I've said on several occasions, using Apple CarPlay without a touchscreen can only be described as a bit of a pain in the posterior. Other changes include new leather interiors with a slightly different stitch pattern and a new panoramic roof that does make the car even airier than before. All in all, it is still a great place to be as a driver or at the rear seat as a passenger.
Now Mercedes-Benz India does not offer a petrol engine option on the new updated C-Class just yet, but what you can get are two diesels. Now you can get the more powerful C300d and the little less powerful C220, and that's the one we're driving today. It's the more mass market variant. Now essentially both these cars have the same engine in different states of tune. It's called the OM654 and it is BS6 ready too. Now yes, we still get only BS4 fuel, but this will meet BS6 regulations even on that fuel. Now it also gets a brand new transmission, which is the 9G Tonic, a 9-speed automatic, and as compared to the older 7G 7-speed automatic, this one is just light years ahead. It's a much better gearbox to drive, and the engine itself much quieter, much more responsive, and it has finally lost that sort of raw, typically diesel nature that the old 2.2 liter engine had.
Not only is the new 2-liter engine quieter and more refined, but it is also much nicer to drive, with power delivery coming in really well. The 4-pot turbo diesel makes a respectable 192 bhp of peak power and 400 Nm of peak torque, perfect figures for this entry-level diesel variant. Suspension setup though has stayed the same, a perfect spot-on blend of handling finesse that this generation of C-Class has always had, and a nice supple comfy ride too. And with those nice thick sidewall tyres, the C-Class goes through most potholes and bumps without much of a fuss. The updates on the C-Class are most certainly compelling ones. Yes, the lack of that all-digital instrument cluster is a bit of a put-off, but the new engine, the small updates on the exterior, especially those alien-like headlamps, and the updates on the interior, in particular that new screen, really does push it to a whole new level as a complete package. And with prices for the C220d starting at 40 lakh rupees ex-showroom, dare we say it, it is quite a value for money proposition too.
That C-Class facelift with all those changes definitely will make it an even more popular car in the segment than it already is. Now from one facelift to another, it's time to look at the Ford Aspire. It's a bit of a favorite with us auto journalists because it drives really well, and we think it also looks quite cool. Now though, it's got a whole bunch of more upgrades which make it an even more compelling argument. Ameya has been checking it out, so here's his first look.
The Aspire has been quite the workhorse for Ford India, and it has held fort for the company in the subcompact sedan segment. But the recent introductions of the new gen versions of the Maruti Suzuki Dzire and even the Honda Amaze has put some pressure on the car in terms of sales.
And 3 years later, we have this, the facelift of the Aspire. So what all has changed? Let's take a look. To begin with is the front grille. That's entirely changed, and the slats have been replaced by what looks like a mesh. Obviously, the other change is this fog lamp bit surround, chrome surrounds that you get around the fog lamps. Now, the headlamps have been restyled a bit, but there are no LED DRLs, not even on the top end variant. Probably something that Ford could have done, but it hasn't brought it here. Of course, if you come to the side of the car, the proportions haven't changed at all. It's still a sub 4 meter sedan, but what's changed is the alloy wheels. Now this is a new design altogether, 15 inches still, but an entirely new design. If you see the side, nothing has changed as such. The silhouette is still the same, the dimensions are still the same, and well, it still looks the same car, but what is different is of course the color that it comes in. Now it has 7 colors on offer now, and this looks absolutely gorgeous. Of course, the other one right there is the red, but this one looks absolutely gorgeous. Let's actually go inside and check out what more has changed, because most of the changes have been done on the inside.
The Aspire comes with 2 petrol and 1 diesel engine option. Both the petrol engines are from the new Dragon series, the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder unit that was introduced with the Freestyle, and the 1.5 litre 3-cylinder unit that was introduced with the EcoSport facelift. The former makes about 95 bhp and develops 120 Nm of peak torque, while the bigger 1.5 litre unit offers 123 bhp and 150 Nm of torque. The 1.2-litre unit comes with a 5-speed manual gearbox as standard, while the latter comes equipped with a 6-speed torque converter. The diesel variants of the car will come with the tried and tested 1.5-litre motor, which is good enough for 99 bhp. Sadly, there's no automatic gearbox available on this one. But Ford had to make things better on the features front to make it a better competitor.
Now, one of the biggest change in the inside is this dash top infotainment system, which is a 6.5-inch one with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and that just ups the ante in terms of features for a car like the Aspire. Not much has changed here. The interior still comes with dual tone coloring, and all this basically has been carried over from the previous car. What is also significant to note is how big this key has become. Where it's definitely larger now, more like the key of the Endeavour, but heavy, bulky one for a sub 4 meter like the Aspire.
Sync 3 is a part of the package too, as is a reverse parking camera, automatic climate control system, 2 USB slots, push button, start-stop, rain sensing wipers, and even the automatic headlamps. On the safety front, dual airbags and ABS with EBD are standard on the car, while the top spec variant also comes with side and curtain airbags. There's ESP on offer too, and the automatic variant of the car comes with hill start assist. Prices for the Aspire start at 5,55,000 rupees and go all the way up to 8,49,000 rupees. The Aspire undercuts all its rivals, which include the Maruti Suzuki Dzire, Volkswagen Ameo, and even the Honda Amaze. And now we wait to see if this strategy works for Ford.